Hey Virgo, welcome to your October 2020 reading. How are you feeling now that we're past your season? How was your birthday? I'm hoping it was magical. Virgo season was a very beautiful time of year. First card out, Four of Cups. Second card out, Four of Pentacles. Two fours. The Four of Cups I always kind of attribute to not really knowing what it is that you're after. Feeling discontent with the options that have been presented to you. But whenever I see this card, I read it as you're not necessarily sure what it is that you're looking for in these cups. Therefore, this discontent feeling that you're feeling, you're not even really sure that it's valid. Or you can't be sure that it's valid. You're probably not feeling or thinking that. But it is attributed to that kind of blindness that we can have sometimes when we're in our own head or we're obsessing too hard on the specifics of something. It's really good to be specific, right? But it's also good to be open to things shifting, right? Four of Pentacles, this is kind of a resistance to things, a resistance to his current state shifting, right? If he gets up, he's going to kind of slip out from under those pentacles and the whole thing is going to be kind of disrupted. So he's kind of fearful to move from his current position. So let's see. Eight of Cups, Five of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Six of Swords. Ooh. All right. So I think that your birthday season required you to leave some things behind and walking away from emotional states that no longer serve you for whatever reason, probably around the time of the full moon. And with the Five of Swords, I think that this new journey that you're embarking on, whether it be work related or relationship related, I think you kind of have some, I feel like you're experiencing some imposter syndrome almost, and like you're walking away, like you're not allowed to feel good for walking away from certain things that no longer serve you. For some reason you feel like you cannot be you cannot fully sit into that place of success that you see in your mind because for some reason you feel like your victory is like cheated almost, which it isn't. You may just feel that way because you like to care for people, and some of these cups may be people and situations that involve specific people that you need to walk away from, which then it may not be anything directly related to that person other than it's just not a healthy environment for you anymore and you need to leave in order to get to where you're going, right? And you're carrying around this guilt, and I feel like it's this guilt. The Six of Swords, they're en route to like where their destination, right? They've packed up and they're sailing. Those swords though are still baggage in a sense of they're not necessarily happy things. These are things that you're still deliberating on whether you want to keep or whether you need to X, and you're kind of regretful about it. And so you're carrying that dead weight with you where you're going because you were too busy like vacillating, right? Like not sure. Unclear about whether or not you're even allowed to like leave these things behind. Newsflash, you're the only one that makes the rules to your life. Okay? Any rules or any boundaries that you put on yourself as far as like what you think is acceptable or like socially correct or what you can do in a certain situation, that's all manufactured in like programming. You know what I mean? Like you can argue that some of that programming is necessary in day-to-day life, but in all honesty, if you're really focused on your path and fulfilling the life that it is that you want to fulfill, you can set those boundaries and you can make those cuts because it's healthy for you and have the confidence to do so, and people aren't going to bat an eye. Okay. Under the Six of Swords, Six of Wands. So there is an opportunity to transmute that energy into motivation that will burn and fuel the fire of you working hard once you move past this block. All it requires of you is to not indulge in like the triggers that come up, right? In the impulses that come into your mind that make you want to sit in a place of like feeling regretful. You kind of need to accept the fact that you left these things behind, and that in the moment of deciding to do so, or if you're still hesitating to leave things behind or not, I mean, it's really on you. It's really apparent. The first two cards out are cards of like being stuck and kind of at a in between a rock and a hard place. So you can choose to stay there if you don't want to walk away, but you're just going to keep existing in that place, which I don't think you like, because mutable earth, you want to spread, you want to expand. Mutable earth changes incrementally over time, right? So every day that you are in it like a sedentary state, you are not thriving. Okay, so the way to transmute the Six of Swords into the Six of Wands is to put that burden down, those thoughts that want to impulsively come into your head to bring you back to those spaces. You need to just be done with it. Accept it for what it is. You could take responsibility for your actions. You know what I mean? You did walk away from some things. You did consciously choose to leave things behind. You consciously recognized that certain things in your life were no longer beneficial to you, and therefore that epiphany is what instructed and cemented in your decision to move, right? Those are all very valid things and valid reasons, and you don't need to justify yourself. But even if you wanted to on paper, which I know you like to, because again, detail oriented, you want to cover all bases, I feel it, I respect it even, you could justify you doing this simply because we talked about last month, or maybe it wasn't in your reading, I think it came up in the Capricorn reading, where I kind of talked about Virgo energy, and you guys are so healing. Your presence and just anybody who is surrounded by you, again, that natural transitional change that you guys just carry with you, being mutable earth, it's a very healing energy, and people that are around you and in your environment will tend to benefit off of that just naturally. It's the way nature works. You know what I mean? If there's a healthy, thriving tree planted in your garden, the surrounding bushes and plants around it are going to benefit off of its healthy root system, right? So you just need to kind of accept the fact that in the transition of seasons, there is things that are brought to life and things that are born into this reality, and there are also things that are required to die and pass on that serve as food and nourishment for that growth. So just accept it and lean into it, and that will slip you into the Six of Wands space effortlessly, where you're moving and marching into this next space with fuel and with accrued energy and drive and belief in yourself to accomplish what it is that you set out on this journey for in the first place. Sorry about that. So I want to shuffle. There's one last card that I want to pull, and then if anything else wants to pop out. I always say one more card and then like 4 pop out, so we'll see. But yeah, Virgo, this is very positive because you did the work in your season and just had that natural energy surrounding you in the first place to kind of nourish yourself and grow. So now that we're in like cardinal air and you're, obviously, as we've discussed, in your head, and not even so much in your head, but these mental these mental loops that Libra season is bringing on, they bleed into your external reality and your emotional life, that's represented by the 4 of Cups, and your practical life, which is represented by the 4 of Pentacles. So like, your material surroundings, people, places, things, all of that. Let's see. With the 8 of Cups too, I know I kind of referenced back. If you haven't made the decision to walk away from some things yet, I know I'd mentioned the full moon last month, but it is going to be a prominent thing in October for you as well. We have a full moon on October 1st and then a full moon on October 31st. So the encapsulating moon periods that are going to be going on in the month of October are going to be very powerful. And if you haven't made these changes, or if you initiated these changes back last month, this is going to be a time, October is going to be like an encapsulated month of this walking away and finding power in yourself, like this process, you know what I mean? And hopefully, if you haven't set out on this journey yet, you can kind of avoid the 5 of Swords and 6 of Swords energy and just kind of bleed into October. Sorry, that's like a gruesome like word to use, bleed, but yeah, you'll seamlessly go into October with this confidence. Okay, 2 cards came out. I've just been talking. Ace of Swords, Judgment. Okay, so couldn't be any more Libra season than that. Judgment is heavily tied to karmic retribution and karmic payout. Not payout in like that way, but just the deliverance, right? And what a perfect time, because Libra season is all about that anyways, and the natural balancing of the karmic scales, both on a global collective level and also on a very interpersonal level for you. But Libra season equips you with this air energy, both externally with it being Libra season, but equips you with this cardinal air drive within yourself to kind of usher yourself in to the next phase, to make the cuts where you need to, and to make those abrupt shifts in your path as you grow and travel down it even more. Part of this walking away and this growing is you may stumble to different corners where you want to turn a different way, and you feel that intuitive nature this month where you kind of need to go here and go there, and this is a gift to you that the universe is granting you, this gift of discernment, um, so that way you can move through this. I don't want to say dark month, but October really is like the first like full month of fall, right? And the fall of the sun, and we're in that season now, and it's very apparent, and we can feel it. And you kind of have this guiding light and this tool to lead you through, so that's really good. Um, and the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Cups. You march into past October, you march into November feeling renewed within yourself. And I think, it sticks out to me that in the Four of Cups, there's a hand reaching out with a cup, and the Knight of Cups is a hand reaching out with a cup. I truly feel like by the time you walk into November, what was lost on you, what you weren't fully aware of that you were looking for in these cups, you're going to realize that through this journey that you've taken yourself on over the course of October, of walking away and making the necessary cuts where you need to, is that you had within you all along what it is that you were looking for. Indeed, what was among these four cups is actually what you needed. And it's a really beautiful turn, because what you find out is it's yourself that grants that key to you. It's nobody else. It's nothing external coming in giving you something that you don't already have. It's you that's delivering this cup to yourself. And underneath that is Eight of Wands. So you, from that point in November, after October, this full, I know we're bleeding into next month, but kind of the light that's at the end of October, at the end of this, full moon on the 1st and full moon on the 31st, is clarity, agility, passion, drive, determination, and if I haven't already said speed. The Eight of Wands is like when all the, in the Matrix, when those, I think, are they bullets or knives or darts or whatever it is? I haven't seen the second one in a long time, and I think that's the one that has this scene where all of the sharp objects or bullets are mid-air. And this is in many different movies, so where there will be sharp objects just kind of floating in the air, and then they all align and point at a target, right? And Keanu sends them flying towards the people that I think were initially trying to send them their way. That's kind of what the Eight of Wands feels like to me. It's like all of these pieces that were once in a random arrangement are all kind of synchronized and in the same, vibrating at the same rate, and all at once kind of go flying and create this wall of like just energy, right? Of like forward movement. So that's what November brings for you. That's a little taste. But October in general is going to be a really insightful and deep month for you. Again, with the Five of Swords and the Six of Swords, it may not feel, and the Eight of Cups, of course, it may not feel super light initially, but I think you will realize as the end of the year comes that you're grateful you got these kind of dark, insightful moments done at the beginning of fall, and really not experience these dark, having to search within yourself moments when we're already knee deep in this already super introspective energy. I think the look into November was super important because it just shows you that at the past this month, there's a lot of light-hearted and very, very vibrant energy at your disposal. And so it's enough to kind of get you through the rocky moments this month. But yeah, Virgo, I love you. I hope that this is a great month, and I'll see you in November. Bye.